Welcome to Capital City News, your source for staying informed and engaged with Salt Lake City government. I'm your host, Brian Young with Salt Lake City TV. For our episode today, we spoke with Laura Bandara of the Planning Department about our urban forest. Our History Minute is about the pioneers' first Christmas. But before we get to those, it's time for our legislative update. Then we're going to take a look back and a look ahead.
At its December 7th meeting, the City Council heard updates from the administration on the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, homelessness, and crime trends. Held a briefing on Budget Amendment 4, which includes proposed funding for winter shelter safety, park rangers, and more, adopted a resolution allowing the subleasing of the Leonardo, and much more. To learn more, visit slc.gov/council. Mayor Mendenhall joined a panel of experts and Radio West host Doug Fabrizio to talk about homelessness and the state of Salt Lake City. Visit our YouTube page to watch the complete conversation.
And we've seen success in tiny home communities across the country where people can have the independence of having their own space, but they live in a communal way. And so I think that's an example of how we're trying to make, that peg hole fit more of the needs of people.
Leadership from Salt Lake City and UTA, including Mayor Mendenhall and City Council members, were excited to announce that UTA on-demand rides are now available in Salt Lake City. The service is similar to Uber and Lyft, where users request a ride using an app or calling a number. UTA On Demand launched December 13th, 2021 in the city's west side neighborhoods, serving Rose Park, Poplar Grove, Fair Park, and Glendale. In alignment with Salt Lake City's 2017 Transit Master Plan, this new service is made possible through the city's Funding Our Future initiative. UTA On Demand operates 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 4 a.m. to 12:15 a.m. the next day, and Sunday from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Plus, when new users download the UTA On Demand app, they will get their first 10 rides free until March 1st, 2022. Learn more at rideuta.com/ondemand. The best way to defeat COVID-19 is by getting vaccinated and ensuring those around you are also vaccinated. Vaccines for COVID-19 are now available for kids 5 to 11 years old. To set up your child's appointment, visit the Salt Lake County Health Department website at slco.org. Remember, one of the best ways to help prevent winter inversion this season is to cut down on your vehicle emissions. Walk if you can, chain your trips together to cut down on unnecessary trips, and be sure to turn your key and be idle-free. To learn more, visit slcgreen.com.
For our interview today, we spoke with Laura Bandara from Salt Lake City's Planning Department about our urban forest.
Planning has been working on an Urban Forest Action Plan, and the survey is really related to trying to understand the needs, wants, concerns around street trees in neighborhoods. We learned in 2015 when we did our general plan that Salt Lake City residents really value the urban forest and really value our trees. They called our green network one of our greatest assets. And so this plan is all about trying to actually figure out how to preserve what we have and expand, keep growing the urban forest, which is what residents wanted to see back in 2015. The urban forest is a modified natural system. Sometimes I talk about it as an engineered ecosystem or living infrastructure. When we're talking about trees in parks and golf courses are an important part of that, but when we're talking about street trees in particular, they intersect with all of our other kind of utilities and infrastructure in the city. And so to really get all the incredible benefits the urban forest provides, we have to understand how it interacts with those other infrastructure systems so that we can plan and make wise decisions to really like I said, maximize these incredible benefits of the urban forest, which range from improved air quality to water quality to, better spaces for neighbors to socialize. In general, what I've heard is that people love trees, which, corresponds to what we heard back in 2015, and they appreciate them. I think there's definitely some confusion sometimes around rights and responsibilities, right? So if people go to our urban forestry division, they can request a street tree be planted in front of their house and get on a list to have that happen. And then their responsibility is to water it. I think because we care so much about water conservation in Salt Lake City, people aren't sure how much or when to water trees, and that's something that the plan talks about and is working on to try and get that message out, that actually trees are an important part of water conservation. They're not just using water they're not wasting water, right? They're actually helping us use water more efficiently. We're also have done a whole analysis looking at the city to try to understand, for example, where it gets hottest in the summer and where, for example, we have higher asthma rates, because we know that there's a lot of research that shows that if you have enough trees, there's actually a relationship between the number of trees and lower childhood asthma rates. So we're already doing some of that kind of research on the front end, but we'd also just really want to hear from residents about what they'd like to see in their neighborhoods. Go to our website to take the survey, and you'll be asked some questions about where you'd like to see street trees, what some of the challenges are to maintaining healthy street trees in your neighborhood, and then just also we want to understand if folks know about all the great programs that we have related to urban forestry in Salt Lake City and all the benefits that the urban forest provides.
Time again for the History Minute. Celebrations of the winter holidays have changed drastically over the years that Salt Lake City's been settled. In 1847, when the pioneers crossed the plains and looked to survive their first winter in the Salt Lake Valley, Christmas, which fell on a Saturday that year, looked much like any other day. Most pioneers worked, tilling the earth and ensuring they'd be able to survive. After the work was done, however, those early white settlers gathered around the flagpole at the mice-ridden fort they called home and sang hymns to each other. One pioneer, who recounted the tale of the day in her diary, Elizabeth Huffaker, noted that the dinner they ate that night consisted of nothing more than boiled rabbit and bread. It wasn't until the 1860s that the more modern trappings of this commercial holiday appeared, and Santa Claus began to take hold in the minds of the children of Salt Lake. And it's reported the children of the valley prayed to Santa in hopes he would stop in their homes on Christmas Eve. That's it for Capital City News. Remember, the best way to stay engaged is to stay informed. You can do that by following us on social media at SLC.gov, subscribing to us on YouTube, or watching us on Channel 17. Reporting in from Liberty Park, I'm Brian Young.